Hi, I'm Riley, and this is Riley's Art Space. I'm going to start my channel off with a sketchbook tour and let you guys get to know me a little bit. To start, my name is Riley. I'm an artist. I am 15 years old. I live in Connecticut, and I like to do surrealist paintings and occasionally colored pencils, but I also do some realism. Well then, let's get started with the sketchbook tour. So this is my sketchbook. It's the Ohu 8x3 by 8x3 marker sketch pad. As you can tell, I took the liberty of decorating it with some stickers. I love frogs, and I also own 2 pugs. Alright, let's get into it. To start, I have a couple of swatch pages. I got this a couple months after Christmas, so I used it to swatch some of the new art supplies I was gifted. Here you can see I have watercolors, Posca pens, and oil paints. I never got into oil paints, it's just not for me, so that is pretty much the first time and last time I used these oil paints. Next, I wanted to do a couple studies using my new watercolors. Obviously, watercolor is not my medium of choice, but I wanted to try it out with a simple one-point perspective. Then I continued with these watercolors and practiced some small profiles. Again, this was mostly me figuring out how to use the watercolors. You can see the notes scribbled around, drawing. This was just me figuring out how to use these. Finally, on this next page, I have something somewhat presentable. Still with these watercolors, but definitely neater. It's just another one-point perspective, but definitely better than the first one. I lined it with Sharpie, I believe, and did the rest in watercolor. Next one is a little bit of a weird one. For whatever reason, I had this bizarre idea to mesh together Picasso-style proportions and realism. I ended up with this monstrosity. I don't know though, I kind of like it. Let me know what you think. After that, I made a miserable attempt at a self-portrait. I decided it would be a wonderful idea to attempt this without a reference, and I soon realized I have no idea what I look like. So I have no idea who this is, but it's certainly not me. Then I had a couple idea sketches for a project I was going to start. I never actually finished said project, but the idea was a witchy girl holding a crystal ball, so I just wanted to figure out what pose I was gonna do. Finally, we've got the first thing in here I'm actually proud of. One thing y'all should know about me is I really want to be a tattoo artist when I grow up. This was a freehand attempt at an original tattoo design. I sketched it in pencil and lined it with Posca pens. The symmetry is not perfect, but I think it's pretty good for a freehand design, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. After that, I did a silly little flexible thinking exercise. Got a teddy bear, a salmon, a cowboy, a dress, a lawnmower. I was really bored. Now these are embarrassing. I almost never draw men, so I figured I should learn how to do that. But these were my shitty attempts. So let's move on. After that, I have a quick watercolor painting of my brother playing baseball. I did this while watching one of his games during the summer. It kind of bled through from the other paper, but I think it's still pretty cute. Next, I have some really awful side profiles. I did this without doing the sketch first, and that was clearly not the best idea. I have no idea what these proportions are, but that's alright. We live and we learn. I also don't know what I was going for with this one. I did it with Posca pens. And it's not too bad though, I guess. Like the anatomy, it's questionable, but good enough for me. But I really don't know what I was going for here. I did this one while watching Coraline, so obviously you can see my inspiration. This was pencil and Posca for the background. I'm kind of proud of this one. I think he's pretty cute. Finally, we've got an actual finished piece that I really like. I finally somewhat figured out how to use those watercolors. I also lined it with Prismacolor fine liners to give it more definition, and I added a couple highlights with a white gel pen. This is another one of my endeavors into drawing male faces. I figured what better way to learn than to just draw a bunch of them. I'm actually pretty happy with how this guy turned out in particular. I don't know, I kind of like it. And now we're back to the shitty ones. I like the concept of the sketch, however the execution is definitely questionable. This one I did last summer because of that Adult Swim TikTok trend. The video did shit, which made me kind of sad because I thought this drawing turned out well. The anatomy might be off, but I tried pretty hard and I still think it's pretty good. This one is okay, not much to say about it. The hair is pretty shit. I didn't really try that hard. Next, I did this one after Nicki Minaj released Super Freaky Girl. I love the song, so I made this to go with a TikTok. The anatomy was a fun challenge, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. This is another freehand tattoo design I did. I attempted an American traditional style profile. It's not the best, but it's also not bad for a first attempt. Next is a pinup girl. She's pretty cute. The proportions are slightly off and I don't really like her facial expressions, but the concept was good and I like the pose. I don't remember what I was anxious about with this one, but I remember I just started like furiously scribbling everywhere to try and calm down, so that's super fun. I really like this one. The pose is somewhat complex, and in my opinion, I think it's pretty well executed. I don't know, I tried pretty hard. The shading's alright, not super smooth, but I think it works with the like emotion that this one is conveying. This one is just a simple pencil portrait. Pretty happy with this one, but not too much to say about it. This is just some practice drawing hands. If you couldn't tell, I'm not the best at it, so I'm still trying to figure that out. I started Inktober, but quickly quit because I didn't have time. Anyways, this one was day 1, and the prompt was gargoyle. This is the unfinished day 2. I believe the prompt was bat. I like the gargoyle one, but this one was sloppy. This was just a creative way to practice some anatomy. I just Mod Podged some scraps of construction paper onto the page and then drew over it with Sharpie. You can see practice all different faces and bodies and whatnot. There we go. Then I have another watercolor portrait. I think this one was pretty cool. I used Sharpies to line it and add details in the background. And I also went in with the white gel pen, you can see here, and in the hair to add some dimension. I did this one after I got a small pack of Copics. I only had a couple browns, so I just did a simple portrait. I really hate the nose. I messed up pretty bad at that, but I mean, otherwise it's fine. It's just a portrait. Finally, we have another tattoo design. I did this one on a random scrap of paper and I just glued it in. I really like this one. Again, the American traditional style, but I think this one is much better than the previous one. And that's all for now. I am less than halfway through this sketchbook. Once I finish, I will definitely do an update video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you guys. Bye.